casters to take us directly into the action of semifinal number 2.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's going to be a crazy game. I think you're right, Sex. We have a situation here where 2Z up against Liquid. That was a situation where it was a lot of adaptation, and it's a very difficult start to play. But I think Liquid will indeed be very comfortable playing the likes of NOTOFAST. And already looking into the first soul spawn, we can see ID's trying to control the top of the jump pad. That's where they want to toss the first soul.
Yeah, and particularly on a map like Lockbox, the clue is in the name where you can set up and get a very solidified position, locking down the map. It has an enclosed middle area, and that can suit Liquid because they have some great team play as well, ensuring that with this first soul cap, perhaps they can stabilize.
And really what we saw there is they were able to win all the battles around this first soul. They got the clean toss into the big point. And the point right now that Liquid have is by far the better point, I think most people would say, on this map. And we have a great pickup of the quad here. Toxic running it into the B point, looking to get the grab now. And Fazz obviously there to be thrown to if required. So this is going to be a nice run with the escorts, with the power up now soon to be running out. And we get the now the interception coming in, and we'll start to see the tosses as they have to go for their own point. A lot of pressure coming here from Liquid, and it looks like the frags are going the way of Liquid as well. So even if cap could have been made, it's going to be very hard for them to get anything done here. But Liquid quickly taking it back to their own point, but the interceptions are there.
Yeah, an exceptional setup. We've seen NOTOFAST struggling to escort it back to their base because Liquid's setup in the mid area was perfect. They were cutting off all of those channels, did manage to clean up eventually, but it was all based off a common theme we've seen throughout this tournament, and it was the use of that first quad to great effect, and I think some teams need to put more priority on obtaining that.
And right now, actually, Liquid are doing a good job on the offense. This is a very hard point to defend. The other point's a lot easier to defend, and it's, I think, generally because the catwalk above the point is quite easy to take as the attackers, and that gives you great fights there as we see the Soul now making its way across the heavy, across the middle position, all the way to back to that B point here for Liquid, but it will be NOTOFAST picking up the majority of the kills here. It's definitely a lot of openings for them to get that Soul back, and that's what's going to happen here. Toxic's on it. He's got the escort here from his teammates as they run through the mega side into the back point of A, trying to get it up there, but the LG on the stairs from rapha is absolutely perfect there. He'll be picking up that Soul and trying to get it back towards B for his team, but it's, as you can see, absolute madness here in the middle as DaHanG now going for the toss above the jump pad. Can they finally get it there?
This is crazy, but the only real thing separating the teams at the minute has been Team Liquid's exceptional defensive play and great throws, but finally we see NOTOFAST coming out, cleaning up with a nice solid cap to get a few more percentage on the board.
And this is, at every point of defense on sacrifice, you have to consider the spawn control, and so you can deny spawns in certain positions, but we'll go back to that as we have the protection picked up here by Team Liquid. I think it's dropped now, actually. I'm not sure who's going to grab that one. It looks like it will be Nyx here for NOTOFAST. We can see stermy with the protection. He's on the catwalk, and this is a great position to hold on to. It is a must to have someone up there. He will drop down, though, to try to put the pressure on the attackers who are coming in onto the obelisk, as stermy now doing a pretty good job here.
Yeah, now we see the absolute power of this battlesuit. Stermy was pretty much alone as a Nyx on that point and able to beat off 2 or 3 with a little bit of backup in the end. But it was also quite fortunate because NOTOFAST were late to that battlesuit, and it was only the Sorlag's low HP that managed to enable them to take him down eventually.
And you do have to be quite careful here with the lightning gun spawn. If you have no one there pressuring it, it's actually possible for your opponents to spawn at the lightning gun, which is right next to the obelisk. And so that can really start to sway things here. And the Soul actually has been tossed, but it will be collected by Wins. He goes and tosses it into middle, into the rocket for his team. But the interception frags are all there here for the NOTOFAST team, as they'll, again, just make a mess of the Soul just in the middle. It finally will be back onto Fazz, taking it through the mega route, and looks like they'll find another cap.
And this could be a little bit problematic. Ooh, good backup coming in there from the Nyx. Yeah, the good thing that Liquid are doing right at this point in time is that they're ensuring just that chaos you see often in Sacrifice, where NOTOFAST can't set up, because once they are able to solidify those positions, they are almost impossible to break down with their exceptional combat skills.
And one thing that Team Liquid are really looking for is the sort of full lockdown, which you can really get with the B point. There are certain positions you can take, having a guy on heavy and one on the bridge, where you can basically see your opponents coming in from high and from low. You can deny them the items, the rail, the heavy. It gets really difficult to deal with that. It's why this is really the better point of these 2 obelisks, and Liquid will get the cap once again. NOTOFAST only on 51% right now, so it's still early days in this first round. There it is.
And it's a clean quad capture so far.
Well, not anymore. The quad is down on the ground. I had to see who picked that one up. I think it was Aniki, it was Rapha. And let's see if he's going to be able to get anything going with this. Obviously, there was a back cap whilst the quad was happening. Quad obviously pulled all the players from both teams onto that power-up, and a sneaky Aniki was able to run the Soul all the way back onto the A obelisk here for NOTOFAST. You can see that high ground position now eliminated. Good job from Toxic. 10 HP for him, though. Desperately needs some support in this position. Unable to get it, though. It's Rapha with the pummel to steal away the quad, but will they steal away the Soul as well? It looks like they will, but there has been a lot of success on these intercepts from NOTOFAST. Will this be any different?
And we see the relative difference between this map and the last in that both teams are working as groups of 2, 3, or even 4 at all times, whereas defendants are a little bit rusty moving in singularities. So if you are able to coordinate those attacks in multiples, then you have far more effect.
And this is a good barrage into this B point there. But Liquid is still holding on to it. They can't quite get that lockdown setup that I was talking about. NOTOFAST, they're a group of players. All of them hit incredibly hard, so that's one of the difficulties you face when you're playing them. And you can see that they're taking a little bit more slow here, trying to get the Soul through into a safe route onto their base and trying to juke and jive, trying to show it in certain positions, then going to different routes. As we can see Noctis now using the rocket jump here to get the run successfully to his obelisk. He'll get the cap there. Beautiful stuff there from Noctis on the Aniki, as we'll get Team Liquid barraging into that A obelisk once again, but it's all red on the scoreboard, or rather the kill tracker there. That means loads of frags for NOTOFAST. They're holding on to this one. They've got a 30% lead at the moment.
They do, and it really comes down to the next battle suit in 13 seconds time. If Team Liquid can take that, then they really do have a strong chance to take the next cap and hold on to it for a good chunk of percentage.
It's a great throw there from Liquid, but the power-up is spawning, the protection is live. It's going to be going on to Team Liquid here. We can see that Toxic actually going to be able to steal it away. This is really important right now. Let's see how much damage he can do with this, as he's going to run straight up in towards the Soul position, getting blocked at every turn here, and he will be able to collect the health bubbles to keep himself really healthy. So Toxic quite scary in this position, but doesn't really have quite the weapons he would perhaps like, but still can try to force a path, a clear path for this Soul, but he will go down. And with Noctis, he has no ability to get across now. Great work on the interception here, despite not having the power up from Team Liquid.
Yeah, really great work. They decided not to commit for the battle suit because they were escorting the Soul across the map. And even though that was unsuccessful, they were still capped in the middle, enabling, or limiting, should I say, NOTOFAST progress across the map.
Oh, that's a great steal, though, from it with the pummel there. And that's going to be really sad for Toxic, because right now that means the Soul is almost there, all the way back to the B point. Nice rail coming in from Fazz, though. A vertical one as he tries to escape quickly through the tri-bot, but the interception is live there. But it's not quite going to make it in time, however, as Fazz once again caps it for NOTOFAST. They're looking really strong at the moment.
They are looking really strong. And the thing I've been most impressed about is the way that they have backed off immediately when they know their own base has been overrun to prevent the Liquid capping the Soul. And that's why Liquid's overall percentage has been limited to just 43%, even though they've had quite a lot of possession of the Soul.
And Rapha with another steal here, looking to get it all the way back to B. And again, NOTOFAST, they do so much damage that even though there is that option for that lockdown, once you get one successful couple defenses on B, the damage output is too much for them to ever really get those positions that they need. And so we'll see if that's going to be the case again, because we get the cap from Liquid. This could be one of the last opportunities in this first round for them. And out comes the pummel. It's going to be, well, Rapha's going to get killed as well, though, as we get the rest of Team Liquid trying to just rush to the defense.
We do, but we have a quad in 3 seconds, and depending on how much they commit, it could be quite an important power-up.
Back cap there from Fazz, stealing away the Soul, as you mentioned. The power-up, everyone's distracted by getting that power-up. And Fazz has the Soul, and he gets the cap here. But can they survive against the quad? It is just a quad. It's obviously not going to be too it's hard to survive with it if everyone's focusing you down, but just throwing some quad nails in there, doing a lot of damage here with that, and picking people off. This is going to clear space for his teammates to go for the cap here. Liquid need this desperately. They must make this work here as they look to clear this point and grab the Soul. They yet are to cap this. In fact, now they finally got it off the point, but Toxic's there to grab it back again.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate that the quad was so low with no stack, and they had to stop that cap because they are so close to completing this first round.
Yeah, the Soul keeps coming off the point there, but indeed expected perhaps to see a good toss there from Liquid, but they couldn't quite find anything. And somehow NOTOFAST are able to weather the quad damage and now bring themselves into a great defensible position here with the high ground. Is stermy raining down the nails, has to drop down, picks up the rocket launcher. That's going to be very useful here to just deal with the people running in close, but it's going to be the sacrifice there as NOTOFAST win a very hard-fought first round on what I would say is the worst point of the two.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that phrase you used, very hard fought, was exactly right. And if I was Liquid, I would take a lot of courage out of that because it shows that this team are not unimpenetrable. They got in behind, they were able to steal the side. It was just not, there were no clean caps of their own. If they can just get one solid clean cap and stabilize, that map could have switched in the other direction.
And on the previous round, Liquid's opening was flawless. They won all the fights around the Soul. They got all the weapons. They got the throw set up towards the top of the jump pad to get the first cap. That is, if you can get that, that's beautiful. And we get the steal there from DaHanG. And it looks like now there's adjustment from NOTOFAST. They deal with a player that was there waiting to receive the throw at the top of the jump pad. And still, though, Liquid's managing this really well. They still get the kills, they still get the cap onto their preferred point, and now they just have to defend and stabilize. But it looks like that's not quite as simple as it sounds.
No, and the impressive thing is that they recognize how early they are losing that soul, and then they just don't overcommit. So they were all able to regroup, and you saw three people pushing in to retake the soul. A rather delayed quad there, yeah?
Yeah, it's like, guys, anyone interested in this 4 times damage? It's like toxjq will pick that one up, as if he didn't deal enough damage as it was. Has a quad to help him out here, but it's a lot of presence in from Team Liquid to provide support and to grab that soul back, as well as the power-up. They'll scoop that one up very happily. And now, with the quad, this could be the first time we might see a proper setup on this point. But you can see how quick the squishy lineup is from NOTOFAST. There's little time to breathe.
And this is really, really great play. They've taken out a couple of NOTOFAST skirmishes, meaning they have less impact now and need to fall back to regroup if they really want to take this cleanly.
So stermy in with some good lightning gun there to take down ID. This is causing some problems. We get a quick cap there and I think a toss. And that's so important to just get that toss immediately. But it looks like instead of that, we're actually going to have a decent run coming in from noctis. Brilliant movement, brilliant rockets. Goes for the toss to be able to go for the inject. Looks like Stermy's going to grab that one, perhaps toss it back to noctis now. And there it is. We'll see the toss up the stairs here, in towards the point. Great spit, though, from ID. Able to take down 2, blocking the stairs. And that point will eventually be captured, I think, with the soul. Looks like it is, finally. But that was quite difficult, and so difficult that, again, it's chaos.
It is chaos. And I think chaos does suit Team Liquid because it doesn't look like they have the capability at this point in time to get set up. So as long as they prevent NOTOFAST from doing that, then they are in a quite nice position to keep challenging.
And that's a really important nail jump we saw from fazz there. That might come into further use later on, and to take the catwalk position as we get the tosses back down towards lightning gun here. And Team Liquid are causing quite some havoc. But again, NOTOFAST very good on the intercepts. They deal a lot of damage. We'll see DaHanG with a plasma trail kill there, getting some value out of that slash ability, as we now have the DaHanG with the nails. He's really been so prolific with the nail gun. I have to say, keep seeing him with multiple kills with that. But it's going to be the quad grab going in their favor of Team Liquid.
And this Sorlag has a lot of stack to work with as well, so it could be a very, very important power-up. The quad, again, is not often seen as very valuable, but I think throughout the tournament, at least the matches we've casted, it has been extremely, extremely important for every team that's got it.
Oh my god.
That's a lot of damage.
The quad damage acid spit in your face. Not a good look.
I think that if Liquid, if Liquid are able to get set up, I think the one thing they need to do is to not push out too early. The previous stabilization they did get, we only saw 1 or 2 on the point, and the other 2 kind of pushing out, skirmishing, and they got taken down. So you just need to regroup, try and stay super defensive before you then move out to secure the mid-ground.
We're getting great communication from Liquid overall. Of course, I think ultimately both teams have great communication. It comes down to the fights, but Team Liquid always have the right intercepts. They're blocking the right points at the right time off the spawn, which is very important and not the easiest thing to do from a communication perspective. So that's going well for them. But if you can see, I mean, how much time has passed already, and both teams have barely captured any percentage with the soul. And it looks like there is going to be another attempt here for Liquid as they finally reach their own point. It's a wins with a double though on the rockets, which will make life a little bit more difficult here for NOTOFAST. They might have to slow down a little bit as they don't want to essentially allow things to snowball here for Team Liquid. And we do have another power-up coming up soon.
I was about to say that pretty much the hardest thing in this game is having that discipline to work as four and not overcommit on the defense, to coordinate where the soul is going and to block off the choke points. Obviously, you want to try and do as much damage as possible and take down the soul carrier early, but the most important thing is to stay as a team and stay in those key choke points where you know he's going to travel, and that's where you have the most impact to take him out.
And this is really interesting right now because there's 12 seconds until the next power-up, which should be a protection. And toxjq has gone for a steal on these souls. So there's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of things for both teams to distract themselves with as the protection pickup will come in for Team Liquid right now. We'll see DaHanG on that one, on the slash. And now he's got to go for the intercept. Really important back cap there from toxjq as they realize perhaps that they were a bit too weak to take the power-up. So instead they waste time here. But can they actually get the kill with enough focus fire? Maybe it's possible here. But DaHanG is still quite stacked with that protection. And that's going to be the steal there, able to slide his way down to the stairs here towards some kind of success here. But there's so many players, so many bodies in his way. The LG, is it going to be enough right now? Nice mid-air gift there coming in from the super shotgun, and he's got bodies to be put in front of himself to try to secure this capture on this obelisk, and finally he gets there. But there was so much in the way.
Doesn't matter. You have a protection. That thing is power. I mean, I'm a bit surprised that NOTOFAST do seem a little bit off their game today because, particularly in the regionals and the earlier rounds, we've seen stermy consistently utilizing that Ghost Walk for every single power-up and at least challenging for it. However, he was nowhere to be seen. And a clean battle suit, particularly on again, one of the faster champions, is absolutely chaotic and very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and stermy in that position, as you're talking about the Ghost Walks, he did get into the back base. He wasn't able to do a huge amount of damage, but he stayed alive for quite a while and it was causing a lot of distraction. And sometimes that's all it takes as we get DaHanG in position, once again using the plasma trail here to make any rushdown attempts really difficult here for NOTOFAST. And we have the quad up very shortly here for... Or am I mistaken? Either way, it's going to be the soul quickly tossed here towards the top of the jump pad. But still, very back there for Team Liquid. They're looking way better in this round, and they're stabilizing finally.
Yeah, it was quite nice to be on ID's pod there because we saw that's a perfect interception point. Standing in that corridor, because the most common throw is up through that top point onto the bridge, and that's exactly where he was to pick it back up and recap it for Team Liquid.
You see right now there's 2 on the obelisk itself here for Team Liquid to prevent any quick steals, because once you get a quick steal and you get one toss, that can quickly snowball out of control as the teammates come in. But it's going to be the capture there for Liquid. Beautiful stuff, round apiece for either team. And Liquid, I mean, they got that same point in the same way pretty much both times. So I think if you want to compare both rounds, I feel like they have a very good understanding of how to team play around things, and they gave themselves the best start. And that, to me, even gives them a bit of an edge. It
feels to me that they have a better macro strategy of the overall game and how they want to approach it, whereas NOTOFAST are relying a little bit more on their individual skill and coordination in the micro element, if that makes sense. I think NOTOFAST definitely need to prioritize this first soul better because it was those 2 previous clean caps that Liquid got right into the game.
And this does look like a better start here for NOTOFAST. They're getting some kills here. They're trying to contest this position where rapha was wanting to receive the throw, but the throw's not even going to come. It's going to be, I believe, was it toxjq picking that one up? Yes, it was. toxjq picked up the soul, has to toss it though. He realized he was going to lose that fight, and at least he makes the Liquid players run for it, and he gets his teammates that communication that the soul is going through the mega stairs, but it can't. I mean, where is it going to go here? It's yet to be capped by either team.
We can see the importance that these teams are placing on the preferred point, because rapha was near the opposite side of the map and turned around to go back to where Liquid felt most comfortable, and a clean quad. There was no NOTOFAST to be seen.
This is really scary right now. DaHanG on this quad damage, and the soul will go back towards Liquid here as they go to their preferred point. They've been on this point every single time. It doesn't seem to bother NOTOFAST too much, but I feel like Liquid played it so well in the previous round that might be something to worry about in this case, because look how clean this is.
This is worrying. This is really worrying, because as you said, it is very, very clean. However, it's right at the very start of the game, so there should be no panic on NOTOFAST side. The priority now is to try and stabilize and move us forward, but we can see Liquid taking up strong defensive positions in the mid-ground. And when you do this on lockbox, now the map becomes difficult. You also see them backing off into the bases. They know that the attack is approaching, and they don't want to be too exposed.
And right now, as you said, I think Liquid are doing something interesting. They're playing it very conservatively off of the back of that first clean cap here. Ooh, good damage done here by DaHanG, but he won't be able to survive. That's very important and very good work there by stermy. That will allow for a throw off the obelisk there. And fazz is going to try to run this one. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how far he can get. Again, Liquid have been great on the intercepts. Here they come. Up the stairs, the soul goes, but DaHanG with the quick gauntlet frag as chaos once again ensues. The toss backwards and forwards, and it's very uncertain where it's going to go, but it looks like rapha may just have secured it, but no! Noctis in with the railgun, and still that soul is on the ground.
rapha is playing out of his mind this game, consistently coming out with 2-3 kills at a time, utilizing that Anarchy speed and dodging a bit of mobility to really great effect. I do like to see a fighting Anarchy.
Absolutely, and well, there you'll see a very dead Anarchy melting into the floor of Lockbox as we see, again, stermy operating with this excellent vantage point by this catwalk. It's a very strong position, but it's also fairly easy for your attack or your opponents to actually attack you. There's obviously the teleporter which can get you up there from the obelisk, and also there's you can do a bunch of different jumps to get into the back channels as well. And
so after a clean cap, it did look like NOTOFAST has stabilized and took up very strong position, but this time, once again, they're missing out on the power-ups, and it's going to cost them because it's a battle suit, and it's an Onyx, wins with a strong stack.
oh wow, that is really strong with that protection as well. That's quite scary, and he's going to very comfortably make his way across to the obelisk, giving everyone along the way with those rockets. Beautiful rocket jump coming in there as well to allow him some great positioning.
Nice.
Back down onto the obelisk to deny stermy a throw, and that's going to be Wins now taking a forward position to deny some weapons.
So this map has been the least chaotic of the two we've seen so far. Both teams are being able to stabilize and just playing that mid ground now, so life is difficult for NOTOFAST.
The next step, potentially, if there's some clean defense, is to push one player or two out to the heavy, but looks like there's never the breathing room to be able to do that here for Liquid, and in the previous round, they didn't even need that. Up to 46% now as the soul has indeed been stolen. Noctis there with that soul, looking for some way, some pass, some safety, but I don't think that such a thing exists against Team Liquid.
And an excellent drop of the soul into inject. Masterful play coming out from Noctis.
Yeah, great fast cap. stermy already in position once again on the catwalk, ready to deal damage as we get DaHanG and the rest of his teammates from Team Liquid are rushing in. Great rocket though onto Noctis, and wow, DaHanG, he's not going to stop there. He's going to take down fazz as well, opening everything up onto the obelisk, and that's the steal there away, and it's going to be Id who's picking it up here. Let's see what he can do.
This could be a really great point in the map if they can get it back quickly, because the quad is then in 18 seconds and then they can push out as 4 to take that cleanly, hopefully.
And a throw down onto the points, and there is the capture.
9 seconds to quad. This could be a strong defense if Team Liquid can get it, but it doesn't look like set up just yet.
There it is. Who's going to grab it? Should be definitely fast. That's a lot of damage there onto the Anarchy, and it's going to be indeed tossed onto DaHanG there.
So this was the definite split in strategy that you spoke about earlier in the week, where NOTOFAST clearly favoring going for the back cap as 4 as opposed to committing to the quad. Not even stermy going in with that ghost walk. Instead moving as 4, making sure they do get that soul back.
Great play from rapha there. Connects all the shotgun there with the quad as he picks it up. Able to get the soul now. Of course, playing the Anarchy. He's got great movement speed, trying to get himself in there, but these choke points are quite severe, quite choking, in fact, as we see the soul tossed back into the middle position. rapha somehow gets there as well, but will eventually be taken down by stermy. Can't withstand all that damage, and the soul will make its way back through the mega, up onto the stairs, but toxjq to 1 to pick it up. Finally, can he get it onto the point here? You can see there's an Anarchy rapha trying to block with the gauntlet, but toxjq has teammates there to help.
Yeah, and again, I think particularly for this next battle suit, this next protection, which should be the last power-up of the game, NOTOFAST definitely want to try and put more priority on that. It is extremely even, only 10% ahead at this point in time, but it does look like they might have stabilized. Yes, Team Liquid falling back very slightly to try and regroup.
Yeah, some great lightning there from stermy, as we'll see fazz picking up the mega in middle here, and that's going to be really nice here for NOTOFAST as they go back to the defense here on point A, and they are starting to get quite the lead here. The pressure starts to mount for Team Liquid as time begins to run low.
Yep, and I am impressed if it works out with the discipline that Team Liquid have shown. It is extremely close to the end of the round, end of the map, and they have fallen back just to try and regroup, but they're not coming in. They're all falling off now, 1s and 2s. This could be it for Team Liquid. They're all dead.
It's getting really close there. isn't really time to go for the power up. They have to start diving the point. It's on 95% right now. They just need to get bodies on there. And right now, NOTOFAST don't have the most helpful position. And in fact, they're actually going to go down on the point 99%, but the steal comes in from rapha. This has to work. This has to work here for Team Liquid. They're right up against the wall at the moment as DaHanG will go for the throw down to Lightning Gun. It's desperate stuff there. Great switch to the Gauntlet as we'll have the Soul tossed back towards the B point, and it's just going backwards and forwards like a game of ping pong in the middle as we'll see it finally reaching back. I don't even know where the hell it's going right now. It's impossible to call. So much chaos here. The protection in amongst it all now as toxjq once again gets it, and he's going through the mega stairs trying to get that cap going for his team. But look at Team Liquid off the spawn. They're in position to intercept again.
They cannot let NOTOFAST cap this Soul. If they do, it is almost certainly a good game, and they have done such a good job to fend off that protection and now get the Soul back to their own base.
It's back, but it's the start of something, quite the journey, because they have to hold this now all the way to 100%. They can't afford to let it go once, really.
No, this is it. This is the hold for their life if they want to take this map.
And I don't know if it's a saving grace or not, but the next power up it will be a quad damage. I think protection will be more scary to be up against because it's going to be so hard for them to even get that at this point. The toss comes in. I think Noctis was the one to throw that out there as toxjq is intercepted.
Amazing
back by wins. And they managed to do it here. It's still a long way to go. 30% more is required. The quad, of course, is the next power up to spawn. And in comes the next assault.
Yep, and Liquid are falling off. They've all got low health. They're all respawning now, so it might be that they need to retreat if NOTOFAST can pick up this Soul. But it seems that rapha's doing a great job in the backlines, cleaning up, using the inject.
85%. It's so close right now for Team Liquid. They're managing to have some good defenses here. They've got some guns on their defenders, some opportunity to make this work. Great rail connection there as now things start to get very desperate here for the Europeans. They start to run in, trying to go for their Hail Mary plays, just trying to get bodies on that obelisk, trying to get some kind of throw, but have Liquid done it here to take map one? They absolutely have. Lockbox will go to Team Liquid. What an absolutely heroic effort.
Wow, I've got goosebumps. The problem is at the end, it became so chaotic that NOTOFAST couldn't get the high ground, and rapha was just up there spamming the rockets down, hitting his rails. Wins did an amazing job to stay alive on low HP, taking out 2 and 3 attackers right at the very end. And ultimately, it was just that coordination coming out from Team Liquid, able to stabilize, putting NOTOFAST off their game. Liquid were at the power-ups religiously. NOTOFAST barely had a presence over all 3 rounds, and that was one of the defining characteristics in this game.
Wow. I mean, that was such good work from both sides. And again, just because NOTOFAST seemed fairly content to play the 8 point there, and it's definitely a bit harder to deal with, but they seemed quite comfortable once they could get a setup. I think that was so incredibly close. I don't think you can really say it in any other way. These teams are really close right now. Really,
really close, and both of them showing exceptional discipline. We saw both teams, particularly in the last round, being able to get set up in very strong positions, but then the attack didn't come. It waited and waited and waited. They got their weapons, they got their items, and then they pushed as 4. So it was just exceptional sacrifice play at the end of the day.
It's actually so insane as well how constant the action is, because off of every spawn, the communication's there for both teams to make sure that Soul is definitely not going to make it across the middle of the map.
We never saw virtually one clean Soul capture. Every single time they were having to fight through 2, 3, 4 bodies in all these choke points. Liquid and NOTOFAST know exactly where to set up, making sure the communication's on point and having everybody in the right positions at the right time, not getting picked off at stupid positions. And that makes, obviously, an attacker's life, a carrier's life, an absolute hell. Even if you are an Anarchy or a Slash winding through the map, if you bump into a sword like around the wrong corner, you're still going to die.
Absolutely, and it's one of the fundamental differences between Lockbox and the other sacrifice maps. I know some players feel like it's the best sacrifice map, and it's, I think, because of the fact that if you're going to carry this off from one base to the other, it really takes a lot of great team play, because you can't just, for example, like let's say a Ruins of Sarnath, you can't be playing that that low point and you attack into the high point and just 2 throws, over connector and boom, it's already on your point again. It takes a lot of team play, a lot of great fighting abilities consistently to get one capture.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
It's the most enjoyable map for me to watch, given that you can see the tactics evolving there. It is a grind to get it across that map. The power-ups have such an impact because it is in that very vulnerable position that is difficult to get to, where you have to make a severely conscious effort to make sure you are on time. It's not like something you can just run across by accident. It's right at the top of the map. It's the only reason you go there is to pick up the power-up, and that was the one key area for me that they fell down on. And Liquid coming out with some great play. We are going to move into Burial Chamber. This map, however, is more chaotic and will or should favor a heavier combat skill lineup.
Yeah, and this is the thing too. I mean, if you have a team that just manages to hit a lot of rails on this map,
yes,
it can just get out of control. It's one of those maps where of course, team play is always going to be important, but it's just so open. If you can snowball it a bit with those, get a couple guys at once just hitting rails, it can really quickly get out of control. I think a lot of the top teams have the potential against each other to 100-0 just because of that fact.
I mean, in the initial stages of the maps, the meta development, if you will, many of the teams I found favored the castle point. I know this is our own little nicknames. I've said the castle point, the win the closed area, because it seems the easiest one to defend. In a logical, there's a couple of choke points. But with the new meta of the smaller champions, it's very easy to get in and around the backlines, and then it just becomes pure chaos. However, if you can get stabilized on the lava point, you have such vision from the high vantage point. If you have all the weapons, if you have the rail, you're already being picked off. Even if you're coordinating perfectly an attack, you're going to come in a lot lower. And that makes it very, very difficult to actually attack that point if you can do it well. And this is why you see 100 zeros. It's,
in that sense, very scary for NOTOFAST after such a close first map to then be like, oh, God, we're on this map now that we're very well aware that we could play great, but if Liquid just has just a fire round or two, we're out.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You are now 2 rounds away from elimination. This is a team that many people pinned in the regionals as the team to win the whole event. 2Z obviously have laid the gauntlet down, and people realize now the actual caliber that team has, and we can also see the distinctive styles coming out. I think Team NOTOFAST, they obviously play in their very slow, more patient way, and that will favor Burial Ground. However, they have to learn to pick up the pace if they need to. They have to be more aware of what is going on around the map, making sure stermy is utilizing his Ghost Walk to pick up the power-ups. This is one of the maps he did it to the most effect. So I go, even though our kind of predictions have already been shattered, I'm going to say it's still going to be a NOTOFAST win on this map.
It's so hard to call right now. I think my confidence in Liquid has definitely risen quite dramatically to see, again, because as we said, just a great sacrifice map is Lockbox, and it really shows pretty much every skill set has to be on point. You've got to be able to be very good on the intercepts. You've got to be very good as far as the communication goes in that sense. You have to be really strong on the power-ups and be very decisive as to how you make those calls, because backcaps are really dangerous just due to the fact that both positions can be very defensible. So there's basically a lot going on. It's for me one of the purest sacrifice maps. And now going to the more individual skill-based map and seeing that Liquid were very able to go toe-to-toe in that category with NOTOFAST, who are well known for that and being able to bully people with their mechanics.
Sure.
I'm almost edging Liquid a bit, which, of course,
I like the tension now you created it. There we go.
Yeah, okay, this is crazy.
I'm going to do a Machiavelli. One drink tonight if Liquid win this 2-0. But I completely agree that NOTOFAST traditionally just rely on that individual skill, but Liquid, for me, definitely showed more natural team play. They had that coordination. The decision-making was on point. They were able to, particularly with the first Soul Caps, they always got their preferred point. They just generally showed a more sound understanding of this objective-based mode that is sacrifice. And NOTOFAST often, in their practice, in their qualifiers, can just get by on raw talent.
Yep.
But at this stage in the game, Liquid found a way to work around that. And it was Lockbox, a map where you can get out of those one-on-one fights. You can avoid confrontation of these aim-based strategies. Burial Ground is a lot harder, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we're into the game, and I don't think any team has been incredibly consistent on the first soul in this map. We saw consistency from Liquid and Lockbox, but can they pick up the first soul here and get the setup, find some kind of a throw line here? It's going to be collected here. Oh no, it's stuck on the jump pad. Oh God, you really hate to see that one. It's really awkward to pick that up. You almost want to just avoid it entirely, but rapha will try to make a desperate run there towards the castle point. We'll see if they'll make it across regardless, and indeed, it looks like Liquid have managed to get themselves point A. It's a very strong point.
It is, and this, I think the castle point A definitely favors Liquid startup play with that more methodical style, rather than the pure aim base, which would be lava point B. So we'll see how they're able to defend this. Team Liquid also got the quad. Once again, we didn't really see much of a fight coming out from NOTOFAST. And I also like the way they handled that first soul. stermy utilizing the Ghost Walk to steal it away, and Team Liquid recognizing that, just surrounding the point and taking out whoever picked up the soul.
But as we can see that there was a scramble for the defense. He created space here for toxjq to pick up that quad, and he's pressured into point A quite effectively. And now comes the rush across the map here around Mega to try to get Noctis onto that obelisk for the cap with the soul. But he's going to have to redirect himself slightly, just juking and jiving, suggesting one route, going to another, and using that anarchy speed to get himself onto the cap. And just as you said, I think these are the perfect points for both teams respectively.
Yeah, they have their favorite points, so let's see what Liquid have up their sleeve in order to try and get the soul back. Didn't even seem like it took too long.
Yeah, just trying to make its way across the middle of the map. Very difficult because it's very easy to get there fresh off the spawn, and I love it when teams do this. Something we used to do a lot as well, throw onto the high rocket launcher. It can, and because you can still get that very fast route across the map, but it's very hard for the team spawning to go and collect it. And you can rocket jump up to it and so on. It's pretty strong, but we'll see the cap being made once again by NOTOFAST as they rest comfortably here towards the lava point.
And you can see the awareness of your point exactly there, where it's a very difficult place to go, the high rocket launcher, but Noctis was just waiting. So it shows that NOTOFAST do have that understanding of how to play this map perfectly.
They got some setups, yo. Noctis going to be back in very quickly, but can he make his way across? Look, already thinking, okay, the intercept point is around Mega, but it's actually tossed off the map. Noctis was there ready and waiting, and that's beautiful there, because Noctis had a great position to intercept. He did.
Nice!
Oh, that's disgusting stuff there from ID. The dire warp telefrag. Oh my goodness.
Okay, now we see stermy back on point with the power-ups here, getting a nice telefrag on rapha, picking up the battle suit. Very strong position, particularly given that they are now defending point B and have the soul.
Yep.
With also a nice clean cap with all four of them alive at the point currently.
I was a bit scared there because I was expecting stermy to go for a throw because he had a lot of faster champions around him. There was loads of friendlies whilst he was getting focused, but decided to play it slow, and he's now found himself a back point. He doesn't have a railgun. He's only got 6 rockets left, almost no machine gun. So that's actually kind of a problem there for stermy. He's got to figure that out. Obviously, the nail guns do spawn next to almost every obelisk on every sacrifice map.
We can see the strategy coming out here. We have stermy on the point, even though he didn't have a railgun. We had all 3 others pushing out to the 3 main corridors coming out, particularly Anarchy. He was making small skirmishes at the mid lines. It's just so difficult when you have that in front of you. But look at Liquid now. Rooftop is 4. That's why it was successful.
And here comes the rails from stermy. That's what he's known for. Collecting 2 very nice ones there, but the steal is there for DaHanG, trying to run this across the map, but he's been discovered. Has to try to change his route. Very difficult situation. He needs his teammates to come and help him. Great throw there, but it will land onto fazz. But again, that's why you have to have the trust. You've got to go for the gambles sometimes, and that's going to work out perfectly. Captured once again onto Obelisk A by Team Liquid. Beautiful play there from rapha with the lightning gun. And now Team Liquid are in great position to hold on to this.
Yeah, they really are. NOTOFAST have to move back and regroup. We do have quad in 20 seconds, so again, here is the dilemma. Do you want to push in for the back gap, or do you go for the quad? And I find on this map, particularly with the castle point, it's almost probably better to try and go for the quad, or at least take it on the way back if you're just in time.
And that's still a tempo we made once again. We get the
stermy just in time. Nice.
And toxjq throwing down towards Tribot, towards the soul spawn. And the interceptions are there, as we'll see Liquid coming in hard there, and it's going to be fazz who will be escaping with the soul. Tossed it back onto Noctis here as they try to toss it off the map.
Oh no!
And I can see what they were going for there. They realized they were going to go and actually just die, so they wanted to try to get it to respawn, try to get a lucky steal.
Yeah, it's a solid tactic in that if you know it's not safe, if your whole team isn't set up to escort the Soul back across the map or at least get a good throw in, you may as well just throw it off the map and reset and have someone waiting for it in the mid line. But fazz just messing up the throw, bouncing off the wall like a hot potato.
And toxjq with the quad damage there. Lovely stuff for him. Now as he picks up the Soul once again, but the problem is can you escape with it? The quad damage is out. He's pretty strong still though, doing some good damage, but he needs his teammates to support him. stermy needs to come back and help him out there, but perhaps the call was not quick enough, and stermy did not react quickly enough either, as the Soul now goes back into the hands just momentarily for Liquid, but still it seems like NOTOFAST are able to get it perhaps across. It's still looking like it's quite possible. The attempt from ID there with the dive not working out is now Noctis back onto the point there. Oh, gets the cab. But yeah, can they get it clean?
It's a small mistake coming out from NOTOFAST, but that just shows to me they're not quite on their game today. It's not crisp as it usually is, because that should usually be a very, very clean throw and take off by stermy and Tox.
We got great pressure. I mean, again, it was such a hard effort, as you say, that they can't quite hold on to. They can't create a defense. It's just a bunch of small skirmishes, and it's going to end up with Liquid once again with an insanely quick cap, and that bodes very well for them, especially if they can get set up and create some breathing room when into the next power-up and actually set up to that. Then that's when things get scary. This is a beautiful defense so far with the nails, with the gauntlet. DaHanG is doing a lovely job.
He really is, and they are showing absolutely impeccable play coming out defending this castle point. DaHanG on the high ground, and NOTOFAST, nowhere to be seen. His battlesuit back up. Oh, and there's no one really there. Only Tox on a slash, very weak. This could be...
Oh, yeah, he wanted to suicide it because he's so weak. And there it is, finally he'll get it onto fazz, so we'll see if that's going to work out for them. But is there really a defense possible here against the protection? fazz is getting absolutely hammered here. He's got the protection, but it's all he can do just to throw it out. Will they be able to pick it up? Was there anybody in position? Looks like there may have been, to see where the Soul went in the end, but looks like no. It will be taken back here by... Oh, it actually gets stopped. rapha can't quite get the cap in time. It's toxjq quickly out there, sliding his way to success as he gets himself towards Mega. There's still some danger here of interceptors, and toxjq smartly slows himself down, allows his teammates to come in to give him a hand as he goes for the cap.
Yeah, and this needs to be a strong hold now. 77% for Team Liquid, but they're already all there, swarming on like a rash.
That's lovely.
I know, it is, isn't it?
Moving on from rashes, though, we'll see. Once again, the attack coming in is... It's not going too successfully. stermy's got a rail in his hands. Perhaps that's the reason. Now as NOTOFAST are racking up the percentage. And again, all it takes is a couple rails in these positions and two players that are hitting a lot, and things start to get rapidly out of control. And now if we think that there's no protection to be spawning, I think it's going to be really difficult for Liquid to swing this back in their favor.
A couple of good kills coming out. This might be the cap they need, because if they can get it back across, then there's one final quad to be had to get it out of play.
Yeah, throwing it outside the map, it will respawn in the middle once again, as we see all the players here gravitating towards that middle position, vying for it, but it's DaHanG so fast. DaHanG is a smart guy. He perhaps understood what was going to happen all along, positioned himself to pick up that Soul immediately. And this is amazing for Team Liquid to so quickly get it off that A point there, away from NOTOFAST, or B point, sorry.
Oh, stermy just mistiming his Ghost Walk there, and rapha coming in. This is the best champion to have it on, particularly with 6% left. There is no choice for NOTOFAST. They cannot afford to regroup. They just have to go and get bodies on the point.
And there's a quad to contend with. rapha playing it very smart, very slow, not trying to put himself at too much risk, but doing maximum damage with that quad shotgun. Now going to go have some fun as the obelisk will be sacrificed, and it was that last power-up. That could have been it for NOTOFAST, but Team Liquid looks strong.
Again, it was a half-second missed time from stermy. We saw it on the floating cam there. It was rapha coming in, perfectly timing it, knowing what was going on with stermy, having the nail gun, spamming it on point, able to clean it up. And after that, when he had full health on armor, there was virtually nothing NOTOFAST could do. And rapha's laughing. They are looking comfortable.
They absolutely are. Right now, it's a scary situation here for NOTOFAST. But again, they'll be very aware that they can still crush Team Liquid, and the focus has been reapplied now as both teams look to collect that first soul, and it's fazz with a double there off the shotgun. That will give space here for a play perhaps here with the soul from fazz into the obelisk of choice. And once again, it's going to be B. Can he make it there? That was close, but he does get the capture here. Great stuff here from fazz. 4 shotgun frags to open the round.
Yes, and this time this is clean. We can see that all of NOTOFAST are alive and in their relevant positions pushing out to the mid line. I do think they need to be careful now. Previously, they have overextended quite considerably. The quad is staying up for a very long time, actually.
Yeah, no one wanted to take it. There's plaster trails, nails, acid all over the place, but finally it will be it to pick it up. What can he get from this, though? You can see this is a smart strategy, to actually abandon the point and try to play the intercept game. Just make it really difficult for Liquid to get across the map, then sit on their base because it's very easy defensible, and that goes both ways. But looks like they will try to put the pressure on towards Mega. Most of NOTOFAST will die, and they won't be able to actually stop the cap from this point. Great throws across to secure it.
Yeah, you're completely right. It is the right point. But they knew they had to wait out the quad as well because they weren't set up for it. So they're now just swarming into that castle there, making sure they have strong positions on the higher ground to recap it and get the soul back to their own lava.
That was beautiful. Just required stermy in position. Did an excellent job there with that rail on the high ground, as you said. And now it's toxjq trying to run the soul back to their respective point, but finding problems of all shapes, sizes, and speed along the way as he now will reroute himself through into the middle position and trying to get that soul back onto the point here. It looks like it'll be Noctis to get the cap here for NOTOFAST as once again they start to build their lead.
Yeah, man. You can see the trouble that NOTOFAST have in getting the soul back to point B because Team Liquid are always in the right positions at the right time. And they're just as mechanically skilled, so they're doing massive amount of damage.
Well, this looks like fun. Noctis drilling away.
Yeah, rather annoying, but very effective at the same time.
Absolutely, and you can see that Liquid have slowed down their efforts here and see if it's going to be effective. Going for that play with the Ghost Walk, trying to get into the back point. And actually, it's id and DaHanG both hitting loads of rails. And this is exactly what I was talking about. This is the way that you get into this point. Beautiful stuff there. What a display from Team Liquid to try to break this point. And they should be soon able to get the caps. But, I mean, that's what it looked like. But again, very quickly off the spawn, we get a bunch of NOTOFAST players reinforcing that point. Is there to be a cap here or a throw? Looks like it should finally come. But the quad is coming too.
Yeah, but I was just about to say, you can see the difficulty in taking that point because, yes, they did have to have some great play, but at the end it was rapha and Wins alone because the rest of the team had been taken out by the spam and the rails coming out, and it's just such a difficult position to be in.
And once again, it gets the quad, and we're seeing a lot of power-ups go the way of Team Liquid. They've been very good in the power-up game, generally speaking. It's been a somewhat of an edge for them. As we'll see, toxjq now reinforcing point being 70% to 3%. This is somewhat of what we are talking about, how things can snowball out of control, especially now that the power-up is falling into the hands of Noctis. You don't want to see that if you're a Liquid fan. Now as he just sends a barrage of rockets the way of the offense here of Liquid.
Yeah, this is good defense now. We can see that was 2 in base, but as soon as fazz died, he shouted a call out, and we saw the other 2 members of NOTOFAST retreating back into the base to make Liquid's life very difficult again.
Decent throw from Noctis. I think he may even have been trying to actually throw it outside of the map, which could have been quite an interesting play, but couldn't quite get it. The soul, though, still floating around as it makes its way onto Rapha, who tries desperately to get himself across here, but a soul ank to block him. Fazz there, picking up the soul straight away, and now trying to carry it all the way back. Can he make it, though? Again, the intercept game has been strong from Liquid.
It has, and it does seem like they've been successful so far. 3 of them there. Again, the actual speed and coordination is just remarkable from Liquid today.
Yeah, doing a great job, but it's no too fast to get the soul back towards the point right now as actually it gets picked up again right now. There's no charge being made at the moment as DaHanG is picking it up, and he's been running the soul, generally speaking, most of the time for Team Liquid. You can see why he's so good at it. He's got that excellent crouch slide movement. He's very adept at it with that slash. Does go for the throw across, but I think it was grabbed here by a player. It was actually stermy making his way towards rail. Ghostwalk, though, can he get another throw here for his team? Looks like he's not going to go for it as there are players to block him towards his own point. Absolute chaos once again as a desperate attempt is made by NOTOFAST, but still yet to find success.
And it is desperate times. The battlesuit has been taken by NOTOFAST. This time Liquid missing out on that one as the toxjq picks it up with a very good stack. The soul has been stolen by NOTOFAST as they try and get it back to point B.
There's not too many things that you could say are scarier than toxjq with the protection here with that on that slash, but looks like the soul will be tossed out once again, and it will be collected by a player of, it's going to be Noctis, I think, collecting that one, but can he get the cap? Yes, he will. So back onto the beast, charging once again, 89%, 90%. Things looking incredibly desperate here for Team Liquid, but at least they have that first round, should this not go their way.
They have retaken it, though. This is that really has to be the last attack for Team Liquid, because if NOTOFAST are able to get it one last time, it's almost certainly going to be game over.
This would be insane. This is what they did in Lockbox, but it's Noctis, though. Comes in with the triple on the rocket launcher. Beautiful play there. The toss across into the side archway there towards Mega, and that will be the cap. That was stunning stuff there from NOTOFAST. Very good effort to try to keep themselves in this one. They must win this round. Otherwise, Liquid, of course, will be able to take this one home to the finals, and it looks like it's going to happen.
Nice.
An equalizer there from NOTOFAST.
And we
1-1.
we see there exactly the point we spoke about at the very, very start of the game there. If you can get set up for any real semblance of time in point B, in that lava area, the attack's job to try and retake it is almost impossible if you execute well, because you're always moving into, as we saw with Noctis' path, spam, Stermy's path, rails, toxjq's path, lightning gun. It's nigh on impossible to get in there. You have to just swarm it before, hope you hit your shots as well, and then that's the only real chance you have.
You can see there that we're into the third round. This is where it all is here for both teams. Either a third map for NOTOFAST or a finals, a grand finals for Team Liquid if they're able to secure this round. The soul, though, where is it going to go? Looks like it's been taken out by DaHanG. Once again, the point of choice, Castle.
It is, and every single round. Both maps now, we've seen these teams have their very preferred strategies, their preferred points, and it's 1-1. They've executed their own relative strategies to perfection each round, so let's see who can do it best finally.
And the contestation is going to go to id once again. He's been so good as ID on that quad damage, and now pulls out the machine gun, doing excellent work here. But still, the quad will go down. Very focused on the soul carrier, who will actually even still make his way across. As you can see, toxjq picking up a lot of health and armor, just chilling out there with the quad damage, as he will slowly make his way back to his teammates now. And that is very much needed, because they are all going down on B point. Here he comes. Very great stuff there from toxjq. The lightning gun, 4 times damage. What can you do if you're Liquid against a fully stacked toxjq, although not so stacked anymore, but he's done what he had to do, and that soul rests once again upon the B point.
That's right. You could do absolutely nothing when that happens.
It looked like he was out of the game just collecting health and armor, but it was all a part of the plan. And now NOTOFAST once again begin to build a lead here into this third round of Burial Chamber. This is map 2 between these two teams. Liquid having won map 1 Lockbox, if you're just joining us, and it's an effective attack here thanks to rapha and his lightning gun shenanigans that might potentially result in a capture here. It's rapha trying to get his way across, goes for the throw here. Is there anybody to grab it? Who's going to get this one? We have such an interception effort coming in from NOTOFAST. They've been so strong on that count, but where has it gone? Looks like it's going to go back into the middle of the map, tossed back through the archway there from rapha, as it's going to be picked up just momentarily as Noctis has to throw it towards shotgun. But where is it going to go? Tossed backwards and forwards. It's so close. We saw this countless times on Lockbox, and once again here on Burial Chamber.
I think we might have just seen the most important time of the map. This was a time where toxjq had a full stack, he had the quad damage, NOTOFAST had managed to stabilize, and Liquid just did enough to get the soul back to their base. That could have been terrible. If they didn't do that, if that attack had failed, NOTOFAST would have stabilized, and we might be seeing 60-70% already on the side of NOTOFAST.
And with the protection spawning next, I'm very curious who's going to grab that one. It's such an impactful power-up to get. And right now we've seen generally a better power-up game from Team Liquid, but it will be Noctis to pick up the protection on the Anarchy. He's not the strongest ever, but he's just strong enough to do all the damage here with Anarchy and just keep this point of his safe. Of course, he will spot the information that there's a multiple oncoming assailants here from the mega position, but they don't really want to attack into a protection. It's a bit of a waste.
And this is the problem. Now they are set up. You can see the confidence in pushing out to the mid lane. And 90 seconds until the next power up. The real only hope is to try and get your weapons and then not die. You have to push in as 4, but not be picked off on the way in. That is the difficulty.
And Noctis has done remarkable damage here. There comes the inject. The efforts here from Team Liquid, the combat, just an amazing coordination there to get 3 quick kills, but they have to get the point the soul off the point, that is, and can they find a safe passage? Because everybody died at the same time from NOTOFAST. You can see that allows them to intercept as a team. They have the information, they have the calls. The soul, once again, finding itself in just free flow, trying to make its way back onto the point here. Looks like NOTOFAST making this work, but perhaps not. Back towards shotgun once again as we get absolute madness here. The soul, though, looks like it's going to be Noctis diving in, and he gets the capture. But will it be clean? Will it be something that can be held onto? Because it doesn't look like that's the case. And the story starts once again. The ping pong battle.
Liquid are going to do everything in their power to make sure that no clean catch can happen ever again, because they know if that does happen again, 57% already, it might be over. And as you say, it was great coordination coming out from Liquid to even cap that in the first place. All three of them moving different areas, utilizing their abilities to get in. Because the most important thing is to make sure you can get that soul out of their base.
And they couldn't get the cap. It falls back into the hands of NOTOFAST, who quickly now, with all the weapons, dart straight back onto their point. And with plenty of time to get there for the quad as well. toxjq will cap. The rest of his team will try to hold out for the quad damage now and play more forward positions to make sure they can get it. Oh, there you go. Once again, ID, perfect gyro usage steals away that power-up.
This is the problem with the Nyx tactic, in that it was very effective in the early meta, as these teams realize you could utilize the Ghost Walk to perfection to steal it away. But if you're aware that's the only way in which NOTOFAST are going to get a power-up of sorts, then it becomes quite easily counterable, because you know the time as well. So you just have to wait until the Nyx reappears.
And this is really good for NOTOFAST right now. It's looking very desperate for Team Liquid to get into this point. We get the attempt here with the Ghost Walk to try to get into the back lines of the defense here, but it's easily found out by NOTOFAST, and they just dispatch that. Team Liquid, we know them to be great at the coordination, but they don't have time for that anymore. They basically have to just rush in.
And they have all spawned on the other part of the map. Everyone on NOTOFAST has a reasonably decent stat. They've got fazz down already, pushing in. This is their last chance.
This is the last chance. Zeletech said it, and there's 2% to go. The Rockets are raining in onto the point. There's no saving this one now. NOTOFAST are going to win Burial Chamber by the skin of their teeth. But what an effort from Liquid.
What an effort from Liquid, but I bet the hearts of NOTOFAST are settling ever so slightly. It would have been in their mouths after that first round. It was really, really well executed by Liquid, even with NOTOFAST getting their point and stabilizing at certain points in the game. Liquid, should I say, played exceptionally well.
And it's good to see on both sides, you know, we get those smiles, we get some jovial spirits there, because the tension is palpable. It's so intense between these two sides. Liquid definitely won't be happy with that one. They could taste victory just for a moment. I think they felt like it was close, but NOTOFAST managing to find a way to defeat them on Burial Chamber. And again, you know, as you said, you know, both teams sort of settled into their own points, and it seemed like NOTOFAST were happier to defend that lava point, and it worked out for them well.
It did, and I think Liquid obviously had a strategy moving forward. The main thing was you can't let NOTOFAST get set up, and in that second map in particular, they did. And you saw the difficulty when everybody has their positions, it just wastes so much time. Even if you're eventually able to cap it back, it's almost the point of no return, because NOTOFAST were on 70, 80%, and you're on 5, 6%. And then you have to try and stabilize. So that is the discrepancy. But I think the next map, however, we said Burial Ground was definitely in NOTOFAST's favor. They could utilize their combat skills to more effectiveness. It was, you could solidify your position better than you can on Lockbox, but not moving into the next map. So what is going through your mind, DDK?
Well, right now, all that's going through my mind is the fact that these teams seem really close, and nothing can be taken for granted. And I think both teams know that, and they feel that, and it's really difficult. I mean, I don't think anyone could possibly make a prediction based on what we've seen, because it just looks so damn even.
Yeah.
And so really what it's going to come down to is who has more clutch factor. And the thing is when you think about a clutch, when you think about performance under pressure, when you think about peaking into a finals, into a tournament, both teams have the players that have all done it before. Stermy, toxjq, you know, definitely players that have peaked their way into, you know, the position of finals, you know, in the past over many, many years. But you got Rapha, probably one of the best players of all time at handling pressure and being able to deliver into a finals, no matter what. It's a pretty intense situation, and then also to add some of the smaller storylines that we have, where Wins is playing against two, stermy and toxic people that he's played on, very high level team with in the past as well to win tournaments. It's just there's a lot going on here right now as ZSX.
There's a lot of storylines here, but from my opinion, I don't think everyone knew how skillful Liquid are, but no one knew how much they could bring to the table.
And we only saw them against the North American team, so it's hard to really gauge it, right?
And obviously there was a lot of I don't know, banter coming into the tournament, EU versus NA, and everyone presuming EU were going to walk away with the tournament single-handedly pretty easily. But Liquid are putting up such a great fight, and for me, they're definitely showing, probably outside of 2Z, quite easily the best teamwork throughout the whole tournament. And they really have grown into it. We saw very early in the tournament, they put up some strong performances, but this is by far and away their best so far. And we've seen some, particularly from Wins and Rapha, they have stepped up definitely today.
Speaking of 2Z, I'm sure they're watching this match with great interest, as one of these two teams is to be their opponent in the finals, and it's yet to be decided, of course, as we await the last map, which will be the factor to decide that. And I think so far, I think probably 2Z would be in the mind that they'd prefer to play Liquid, because they already played Liquid, and the thing is that Liquid, I think, were a bit shocked as to how 2Z play. Whereas NOTOFAST, they're really used to it. They've played so many practices together in Europe that they have that experience. So I think, I would imagine 2Z are probably rooting for a Liquid victory here. What do you think?
I was actually thinking the reverse.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because Team Liquid have not adjusted to 2Z at all. And I think that the one thing in that the way 2Z play is obviously high aggression, getting in your face, and that is a very combat-orientated style. And they have some exceptional combat skills, but then so do NOTOFAST. So I think that 2Z style definitely can disrupt Liquid more than it can affect NOTOFAST, because NOTOFAST, even though they are not adept at playing in a way that 2Z do, they can deal with the chaos. But at the same time, if Liquid have that coordination, then there's no reason why they cannot challenge 2Z. And having that experience now, looking back on it, there is obviously no reason why they can't just adapt to the new style that 2Z have.
And it's really interesting as well to see the start of these new storylines in the new game. Who actually, will come out on top here. I mean, just that we have, of course, in the dual finals, we've got Vu and Claws. I don't think anyone predicted that. Just, the old timer, it's been it's over a decade since his last, $1 million grand final tournament in Vu, and then Claws, just a complete newcomer from most people's perspective. He doesn't really have the tenure of a lot of players that got eliminated, a lot of players people expected to be in that finals. A Rapha, a Kula, a Kilson. It's so cool to see all these new storylines develop, and also to see some of the old men of the game show us it can still be done at that age. I
think Vu had hair the last time he won something. So that's the kind of the long time that's gone on. The other side of the coin is, and it's nothing to talk about now, but I wonder how Claws will be affected by a long day of sacrifice moving into the duel. Anyway, here we go.
It is indeed time to see who will make their way to the grand finals here of QuakeCon 2017. For Sacrifice in Quake Champions, and we are awaiting the first soul to spawn on Blood Covenant here. Who's going to get it? We've got plasma trails all over the place here right now as both teams vie for this, but it's Wins with perfect timing there on the Scalebearer charge. And that's going to be the cap there, and Scalebearer really good at getting those first souls.
Interesting. They have completely mixed up. They've sacrificed a Nyx to go for the Scalebearer, so that definitely suggests to me they have a plan. A definite plan.
I hope so.
Well, yeah, they're not just winging it. But previously, I do know the American teams favored a tanky lineup, and that obviously fell off because of various reasons changing with the patches. So, yeah, we'll see what they can pull out the bag. The only thing I can think of is utilizing the ball rush to great effectiveness for the power-up.
Yes.
And if they can do that, we've seen how effective and how important the power-ups have become.
What a throw there. Straight up onto the bridge. Rapha sitting there and ready. Oh, there's the pummel. That is a very, very scary move. You've got to watch out for that. But you can see Rapha was able to quickly adjust, get the inject off, still rocking the quad. And imagine had that pummel frag actually worked out. Then Rapha would be dead. The quad would be dropped there for the other anarchy for the soul pickup as well. Everything would be different. But instead, it's Liquid looking pretty good here. Rapha needs to win this fight, though. It won't be the case. It's going to be NOTOFAST able to pick up the soul and try to make their way out of the pillar's exit. But it looks like they're going to have to just reroute this one and go up high.
And the other key point of note is that Team Liquid have point A, which is that mega point, the Colosseum, whatever you want to call it, the stronger point to hold if you can do it well.
There we go. Noctis finally finds himself onto B. And there comes the ball rush. Oh, that was close there, but Noctis able to take down wins with ease. As once again, we get a throw up high. And that ball rush, everyone sort of scattered off the point there. They couldn't fight, and that actually allowed a quick cap for the throw, but it will quickly make its way back onto the point here for NOTOFAST.
An unorthodox use of the bull rush, but also highly effective.
And once again, we just get the unrelenting aggression pressure coming in onto the B point here, and Noctis is running great routes around the nail gun here to do a lot of damage, and he's got all the guns pretty much that he really requires. And back onto the bridge now. Really awesome to see how mobile Noctis is, obviously on that Anarchy, and all 3 players spawning around the machine gun. That's excellent damage done there from that nail gun.
Yeah. Speaking of previously point A, how defensive it is, we also saw 2Z favoring this point B, because if you can get set up there, it is very, very messy. We've got a battlesuit coming up now with the protection.
Here we go. Oh, it's going to be wins with the charge, and that is so strong. It's going to be really interesting to see what he can do with this one as he now makes his way onto the point, gets the cap off of NOTOFAST's obelisk now, and he's going to move his way very slowly. Of course, Escalber, one of the slower champions in the game, but he will get there. He is a tanky guy, and he's down the LG stairs. He tries to force his way. Brute force, that is the scale bearer way, and the cap has been made. Yep,
and that is the kind of niche strategy you can utilize on this map with the scale bearer, utilizing the bull rush through the teleport over the relative power up, and with the way in which obviously NOTOFAST prefer to do power ups is with Stermy and the Ghost Walk, so just boshing his way through.
Man, this game between these two sides almost feels like a final, and it will be NOTOFAST quickly in onto the A point, cleaning up most of the players, and that's going to allow them to get that capture, but it's going to be quickly meet a charging wins. He hasn't done enough with that charge, though, as that soul still remains active towards the rail jump pad, and it's going to be Stermy in with a double off the rocket launcher, and still problems here. Liquid can't quite get themselves back onto the point here. This effort from NOTOFAST looks quite strong at the moment, but still, can they get all the way? Yes, finally. Noctis, it gets into his hands, and he should be good here, able to evade the sliding DaHanG and get the cap.
A little sidestep coming out from Noctis, not something we're traditionally seeing in Quake, but also very effective just to avoid opponents as opposing to killing them.
So things calm for a moment, and this is pretty bad for Liquid, considering that everyone from NOTOFAST can start to pick up some armor, some weapons. You can see Noctis having the luxury to go for a railgun potentially, but Noctis going to go for the drop here. Take down rapha, gets his rocket launcher as a gift, as a prize, but looks like ID has something to say about that, and the pressure continues from Liquid. Getting some good frags in here, but toxjq arrives onto the scene. It's going to be the rocket launcher of DaHanG to make the difference, but here comes the quad, and it looks like it's going to go to Noctis.
Yep, the best champion to have this on, given the speed, the maneuverability. It has the potential just to move out and do so much damage, as we see picking up 2, 3, 4 now frags coming out from Noctis, not even taking a dent.
Yeah, that's so glorious, isn't it? Quad rockets feels good in Noctis's position as he still has that quad. Oh, the bull rush will actually knock into him. That's a lot of damage done onto Noctis, but he was very stacked, just picking up the heavy as well, so he's fine. Here comes DaHanG though at speed, but off the map he goes. See you later, DaHanG. And look at the Anarchy go here. They're not even looking, but eventually Noctis will kill himself, actually helping out Liquid in that sense, but still, a big job has to be done in just making it across the map with the soul.
Yep, the great position from Noctis. Unfortunate not to take at least one more out. That is a style glorified by Latromi, the fighting defensive point Anarchy. Nice pummel there.
That's big. Did he get a throw? I think he did.
He did.
That is so huge. Of course, you know, if let's say there's a capture and then you kill rapha, and then it's, you know, you have to wait for 3 seconds to cap it, so that makes a big difference. But getting the instant throw, it translates into a very quick cap here for the NOTOFAST side. Good rail there from toxjq as the pressure comes in, sliding his way. A nice flick shot there from toxjq, doing all kinds of damage, releasing the plasma trail there. Oh, what on earth was that flick? How does he even register there's a guy there? So fast is toxjq. This is why he's scary. This is why people talk about his aim skills as he comes up into the bridge position, landing more rails here, more damage output. We have another power-up coming in 20 seconds, but right now this looks amazing for NOTOFAST. Can't think about that. You have to just hold on to this point. The gauntlet comes out for rapha. This has to be the last attempt in this round here. This has to reach Team Liquid's base.
Yep, completely right. Again, last chance saloon for Liquid, 99%. Battlesuit coming up.
Protection spawned.
protection has come up now. It looks like it's going to go the way of NOTOFAST. This is the worst case scenario here for Liquid. They're in trouble. So much trouble. The protection is going to be coming in. There it is. Not much you can do against that. Is on stermy. The Italian stallion there with the Nyx, with the protection, trying to get that cap there. And it's still in Liquid's hands. It won't be for much longer, though. So the question is whether this power-up is going to run out before stermy can reach the base. He's taking incredible damage. The nails are a really, really strong tool against the protection. And it looks like the toss will be there. stermy will hand it off, and the cap will be made. And this could be it right now. All they have to do is hold up this one last attack, and they've done it. NOTOFAST pick up the first round on map 3, Blood Covenant.
And we see once again a relatively long game of sacrifice. Both of these teams playing exceptionally well, particularly with those intercepts we see once again. Liquid particularly this time, cutting off NOTOFAST, but in the end they were able to stabilize just enough time to take a relatively comfortable round.
toxjq, man, he's starting to feel the flow.
That was nice.
He's feeling the rhythm.
I like the bull rushes. I just don't know if it's more effective than having a Nyx.
It's a hard call to make, but we'll see whether or not Liquid can get it working this time around. Soul to be spawning in 3 seconds, and I'm sure the plasma trails will start to begin here as the spit comes onto the Soul as well. Looks like it's going to be grabbed here by Team Liquid. It's going to be on ID as he makes his way across here, but actually captured there by toxjq now as fazz comes in to lend a hand as well. The spit doing so much damage here. NOTOFAST able to utilize all their abilities to get themselves once again their point of choice, but we have gauntlet frags all over the place right now as they're in an attempt to stabilize this made by NOTOFAST.
Nobody there for the quad this time, except for DaHanG. Good timing.
Looks like he's, well, looks like very dead. The Liquid, that Soul won't make it too far, perhaps. As DaHanG comes in with that quad damage, looks like he's going to just murder absolutely everybody.
Nobody knew he was there. Nice and easy.
DaHanG does make it look very easy sometimes. When you watch him, it's just... I mean, he has this particular style where if you watch toxjq, it looks flashy, looks really difficult. DaHanG, now he just strolls in, just casually, country stroll, takes everybody down with a lightning gun. Looks very easy, and he's going to be trying to make it look easier still as he is defending here with his plasma trail across the B point. Looking really good now for Team Liquid as they build percentage.
Yeah, the great use of the plasma trail, just doing enough to stop NOTOFAST picking that up. It's an extremely powerful tactic because it just zones out so many people, and if you want to try and get the point or push through any choke point, you're always going to take an immense amount of damage.
And looks like the Soul is still being thrown around here. It's not on an obelisk just yet, and it looks like NOTOFAST might be making it finally happen for themselves. The Mega not really a priority for toxjq there. The cap will happen. And he just needs a delay now. Just use this annoying position at the back point, and he actually gets a kill off of it. He's still alive. He's still in position to do more damage with a machine gun tracking onto the charging winds there on that scale bearer. And toxjq, I have no idea why or how he's still alive, but he is. And NOTOFAST can defend well now. Yeah,
I mean, just staying alive there, that was how important how it is just not to throw away your life, diving back into the point desperately. Staying alive is absolutely critical in this game mode.
Looks like we'll have a couple players coming in from Liquid here, doing some good damage. DaHanG and Wims hand in hand. Frag off the frag. Soul to be captured, perhaps. Looks like it will be tossed, but can it make its way out the base? That's always going to be the question, especially up against NOTOFAST, as Rapha quickly, with that Anarchy, will dart his way over towards their point. But as we can see, we've got that plasma trail all over the protection. It will go and find its way onto NOTOFAST, but quickly drop there. It's going to be picked up by Wims on the scale bearer. That's a very, very, very scary situation if you're NOTOFAST. In fact, Wims is even going to pick up the Soul. So that's quite a tanky situation here. Definitely going to be a cap here for Liquid.
Yes, and they nearly have a full protection to defend it with. So this is a chance for them to at least take a relatively big chunk of that obelisk percentage up. Staying in the back lines, this is a great position to be, because if anyone wants to dive on the point, you're relatively untouchable at the back. They're just spamming in the rockets.
And you can see great timing from NOTOFAST. They waited to the exact moment when the protection ran out to go for the attack, and it's worked out well for them. They are going to be intercepted here, but they are doing pretty well. Got a rocket jump there from Fazz, using that. The rocket jumps on Solag are incredibly strong here, as he will also ignore the Mega, just going for the cap, prioritizing that. Very smart, and some acid spit there to make the attack here from Liquid all that much more difficult, as Fazz comes in with the LG, finds himself some good angles here, but it will be too much for him to handle these nails, the charges. DaHanG does a great job with that nail gun once more, and the cap is once again in Liquid's hands.
It is 50 seconds till the next power up, which will be a quad. So this is the time for now NOTOFAST to try and reset and prevent Liquid stabilizing on that point. And they do that perfectly. 3 of them set up already for the emerging rapha.
It's like that B point is being held onto fairly well right now for Liquid. Pummel comes out here for DaHanG, doing some good work here. Forced back by the LG. Fazz does get the kill in the end here, but can the steal be good? Looks like it's not going to be all that good at the moment. Or has it made its way across? I think it has actually. It's almost made its way through the halfway point here as it's finding its way across towards the pillars here. toxjq sliding around on that one. Will eventually get the capture, but there's still players waiting for him. Oh my god, that was absolutely stunning stuff. Mid-air plasma trail. Don't see that every day as toxjq now rails from above, causing more problems here for Liquid.
3 seconds till quad. And it's still there because both people have died who were challenging for it. Unusual set of circumstances. And there's an emerging man.
Charging straight for the telly. I'll have that, says Wins, as rapha is going to be defending, but Wins will be the one to assist and perhaps the one to get all the frags here. That quad damage, scary stuff here as Wins erases everybody there from NOTOFAST, and this will give Liquid the lead now. It's a slim lead, but it is a lead nonetheless into this round. And let's not forget, they need this round to stay alive. If NOTOFAST are able to do a victory or create a victory in this one, that's it for them. They will be in the finals. Liquid are up against the wall.
They are indeed. NOTOFAST again playing slightly patiently, regrouping, and sometimes you do have to just give up and sacrifice a little bit of the obelisk percentage. It's always difficult because you can feel it ticking up, but if it assures you another solid attack, it's always worth it.
Absolutely, and Liquid still hanging on pretty well here. There will be a toss from ID back in towards the pillars position, so Liquid looking so much stronger. What on earth was that from Fazz? An interception mid-air with a gauntlet. Styling here as he steals away the soul. It goes on to Noctis here. Beautiful stuff there from NOTOFAST. Again, a recovery into a capture. Absolutely stunning. And now Liquid are in a bit of trouble because we'll have somewhat of a setup coming in now. The nails are going to be nailing through that choke point. The charge comes in, it will whiff completely, but Wins will turn around with a rocket and deal the damage regardless. A lot of fighting going on the point here. I'm not sure if NOTOFAST can hold on to this.
It looks like they have. rapha sneaks it away, however. 17 seconds until the protection. If they can get this cap and get the protection, there is a very, very strong possibility they can win this round.
Yeah, it all comes down to the protection, doesn't it? That is really going to be so crucial. Noctis with a couple great rockets there, able to clear out some of the defenders, but it's Wins, and that's the scale bearer pick we were talking about. The scale bearer pick, that's what it's good at. That pickup of the power up, the protection now. Will it allow them to hold on to this? They have to first get the soul back into their hands. They've got to capture it once more. I believe it's on them. It is indeed. ID picks it up. He gets the capture for the team. NOTOFAST, they have time to work with though. They don't have to rush Hail Mary into this protection. They still have 30% left until Liquid get this round.
They do, but it is ticking up. 73 already. The battlesuit has fallen. This gives them another great chance if they want to try and push in.
Here it is, Wins now. The protection has worn off and he is not too stacked. In comes the sliding toxjq. Great tracking from Wins, but toxjq too strong with that slash with the LG. Now the pressure comes in from all sides, from the back, from the front, and it's going to be Wins with the charge up, back into the point. Can't connect anything with that bull rush, and it's going to be a series of frags still made by Liquid on the defense here, but the soul has found its way out of the base into the hands of stermy. Maybe not the ideal champion, but it will do as he makes his way back up towards Mega. He has a pursuit though, but teammates to cover. toxjq there is going to save Stermy's bacon as the capture has been made by NOTOFAST.
And both of the emerging Liquid players have died, leaving 2 alive trying to push in. 68% they have. Once again, they do have a little bit of time, but how much can they do?
Here comes the charge. Stermy has to drop in. He has to prevent them from actually getting a throw. And it looks like that's inevitable from this point. 3 players on. Great attack from Liquid. You've got to really appreciate the beauty of their coordinated offense as now the soul will make its way through the low ground, perhaps now into the high ground as we get Wins up the jump pad, but there's players on the bridge. The pummel comes in from Anarchy. Noctis dealing great damage, but Wins will find the frag. He'll find the help, and he's going to find the cap as well. Liquid, they are so close, but there's still a power up to be collected here. I'm not sure who's going to be able to be in the position to get this as Wins fights so desperately. The charge comes in, but it will do absolutely nothing, and it's Noctis to collect the quad. Will this be the play to secure the round as Noctis picks it up on the Anarchy? So much damage being done. What on earth can Liquid do?
The only choice they can do is back off to NOTOFAST point and try and defend there. They're taking the mid-ground, but that's very, very dangerous, particularly with this quad. They need to try and buy out as much time as they can, but nobody is at point A.
Oh my god, X. They're in, NOTOFAST are in such a strong position to be able to take this round, even though Liquid are 4% away from winning it. It's looking very good on the defense. Liquid, though, they've shown us time and time again, as right now Wins nails fazz to the wall. The defense is looking quite strained, and somehow, indeed, once more, Liquid show us they can get that soul out so quickly.
There's at least 2 players waiting for this lizard. 3 now. NOTOFAST know exactly what it is, but great play coming out from ID, being patient down below, making sure the point is safe. They want to get it back cleanly, but they don't.
And just a throw back down to Shotgun. It's absolute chaos here once again as the throw gets made by Noctis. He's moving quite quickly now. Can anybody catch him? I don't think anyone can. Noctis back onto the point here for NOTOFAST. They're so close now. 12% to get this one, to get themselves in the grand finals here of QuakeCon. Liquid need to stop this. They have to get bodies on the point or it's all over so soon. 5% left. Where is Liquid? They've got to make their way onto the point. This is too strong right now for NOTOFAST. They're so close, but the steal comes in. How on earth? How did rapha get the steal there? And still, he's going to make his way across, and the path is clear.
It is clear. There is one there. toxjq is on point.
And there it is, Noctis once again, the menace with that pummel. Back in on toxjq. The slides slash is going to do it here. 1%. Someone has to get on it, but no one can. NOTOFAST. They've made their way to the grand finals. Liquid put up such an insanely strong fight, but somehow it wasn't enough.
I have not seen a more evenly paired match of teams in Sacrifice. Every map virtually went to the limit. There was one round, that was it. Everything else right to the wire. Massive respect to Liquid. Everybody expected this squad